Welcome to the fifth section of this course, Stakeholder Engagement and Planning. In this session, we will explore the critical role stakeholders play in project planning and discuss strategies for ensuring alignment, support, and ultimately, project success. Stakeholder engagement is one of the most important aspects of project management. Stakeholders, whether they are clients, executives, project sponsors, team members, government entities, or end users, all have an interest in the project's success. Failing to engage stakeholders early can lead to misalignment, resistance, and project risks that could have been avoided. By effectively managing stakeholder relationships, project managers can ensure stakeholder expectations are realistic and aligned with project goals, build support and buy-in, reducing resistance to change, enhance communication and transparency to prevent misunderstandings, identify potential risks early, allowing for proactive issue resolution. In today's dynamic project environment, where projects are multifaceted and involve diverse teams across different locations, engaging stakeholders in a structured and strategic manner is no longer optional. It is essential for project success. Underscore. Why stakeholder engagement matters. Stakeholders have a direct or indirect influence on the project. Understanding who they are, what they expect, and how they can impact the project allows project managers to create a proactive engagement strategy. Key benefits of stakeholder engagement. Improved decision-making. Involving stakeholders early ensures that decisions are made with a broader perspective. Increased project acceptance. When stakeholders feel heard, they are more likely to support the project's outcomes. Better risk management. Stakeholders can identify risks early, allowing for mitigation strategies to be put in place. Stronger collaboration. Open communication leads to better working relationships and a shared vision. Stakeholder engagement is not just about keeping people informed. It's about actively involving them in the planning process to build commitment and shared ownership. Key principles of effective stakeholder engagement. To engage stakeholders effectively, project managers must follow these guiding principles. 1. Identify and prioritize stakeholders. Not all stakeholders have the same level of influence or interest in the project. A structured approach, such as using a stakeholder map or power interest grid, helps categorize stakeholders based on influence. How much power do they have over project decisions? Interest. How invested are they in the project's success? 2. Understand stakeholder needs and expectations. Each stakeholder has unique expectations, concerns, and preferred methods of engagement. Conducting stakeholder interviews, surveys, or workshops can help project managers tailor engagement strategies accordingly. 3. Establish clear communication strategies. Transparent and regular communication is essential. The type and frequency of communication should be aligned with stakeholder needs, using methods such as formal reports and updates for executives and sponsors, regular team meetings for internal teams, interactive workshops for end users and community stakeholders, digital collaboration tools for distributed teams. 4. Build trust and foster collaboration. Trust is a fundamental element of stakeholder engagement. Project managers should be proactive in addressing concerns, encourage stakeholder participation in key decisions, ensure transparency in reporting progress and challenges. 5. Continuously monitor and adapt engagement strategies. Stakeholder dynamics can change throughout the project lifecycle. Regularly reassessing stakeholder influence, interest, and engagement levels ensures that strategies remain effective. Final thoughts. Stakeholder engagement is a dynamic, ongoing process that requires careful planning and execution. Projects that invest in effective stakeholder engagement experience greater support, reduced resistance, and higher success rates. In the next section, we will delve deeper into practical stakeholder engagement techniques to help you effectively manage and collaborate with stakeholders throughout your project journey. Ensuring that stakeholders are aligned with project goals is a crucial factor in achieving successful project outcomes. Stakeholder alignment refers to the process of ensuring that all individuals and groups involved in or affected by the project have a shared understanding of objectives, expectations, and priorities. Without alignment, miscommunication, conflicts, and delays can arise, leading to project setbacks. Stakeholder alignment is not just about getting approval from leadership or executives. It is about creating a unified vision where all stakeholders, from team members and department heads to sponsors and external partners, are working towards the same strategic objectives. This alignment ensures that resources are allocated efficiently, risks are minimized, and stakeholder support remains strong throughout the project lifecycle. In this section, we will explore the importance of stakeholder alignment, the key benefits it brings to projects, and best practices to ensure stakeholders remain engaged and supportive. Underscore. What is stakeholder alignment? Stakeholder alignment refers to the process of ensuring that all parties involved in the project share a common understanding of its objectives, deliverables, and constraints. It involves clarifying expectations, making sure all stakeholders understand what the project aims to achieve, ensuring consistency, aligning stakeholder priorities with the overall business goals, encouraging collaboration, keeping stakeholders engaged and informed throughout the project lifecycle. Without proper alignment, stakeholders may have conflicting expectations, which can lead to resistance, scope creep, or a lack of commitment to project goals. Ensuring alignment from the beginning minimizes these risks and creates a cohesive project environment. Key benefits of stakeholder alignment. Aligning stakeholders early in the project brings multiple advantages that contribute to smoother execution and higher chances of success. 1. Reduces misunderstandings and conflicts. One of the most common challenges in project management is miscommunication between stakeholders. When stakeholders lack clarity on project objectives, their assumptions may lead to conflicts regarding priorities, deliverables, and timelines. Example: imagine an IT project where executives expect a software system to be fully functional in 6 months, while the development team anticipates an 18-month timeline. Without alignment, these mismatched expectations could result in frustration, unrealistic deadlines, and missed objectives. By aligning all parties from the start, misunderstandings can be resolved early, creating a realistic and achievable roadmap. 2. Increases stakeholder commitment and support. When stakeholders are aligned and engaged, they are more likely to actively support the project rather than obstruct progress. Gaining buy-in early ensures that key decision-makers, team members, and external partners feel invested in the project's success. Example: a company launching a new marketing initiative aligns its senior leadership, marketing team, and sales department. Because all departments are on the same page, they actively collaborate, share resources, and provide input, making the campaign more effective and impactful. 3. Aligns project objectives with organizational priorities. Projects that do not align with broader organizational goals may struggle to gain funding, executive support, or cross-departmental cooperation. Stakeholder alignment ensures that project goals are strategically connected to company-wide objectives, increasing the chances of approval and sustained backing. Example: a project manager is tasked with launching a sustainability initiative within a large corporation. By aligning the project with the company's long-term corporate social responsibility (CSR) objectives, they secure funding and support from senior executives, reinforcing its importance. 4. Improves risk management and issue resolution. When stakeholders are aligned, potential risks, constraints, and obstacles can be identified early. This allows teams to proactively address issues before they become major setbacks. Example: a manufacturing company planning a supply chain expansion holds stakeholder alignment meetings with suppliers, logistics teams, and regulatory authorities. Through these discussions, they identify potential customs clearance issues that could cause shipment delays and adjust their strategy to mitigate the risk. 5. Encourages continuous engagement throughout the project lifecycle. Stakeholder alignment is not a one-time activity. It is an ongoing process that needs to be reinforced throughout the project. By maintaining active communication and engagement, project managers ensure that stakeholders remain informed and committed. Example: a healthcare organization developing a new patient management system conducts regular stakeholder check-ins with doctors, nurses, administrators, and IT teams. This continuous engagement allows real-time feedback, ensuring that the system meets the needs of all end users. Best practices for ensuring stakeholder alignment. To achieve strong stakeholder alignment, project managers must implement structured engagement practices. Here are some proven methods. 1. Conduct stakeholder identification and analysis. The first step in alignment is understanding who your stakeholders are and their level of influence. Use stakeholder mapping techniques, such as the power interest grid, to categorize stakeholders and determine their priorities. 2. Establish clear project goals and expectations. Clearly define the project's scope, objectives, timeline, and success criteria. Ensure that all stakeholders are aware of these key factors and address any misalignment early. 3. Develop a stakeholder communication plan. Different stakeholders require different levels of information. Design a communication plan that specifies how often updates will be shared, e.g., weekly reports, monthly meetings, real-time dashboards. The preferred communication channels, e.g., email, video conferences, project portals. Key points of contact for stakeholders to reach out to when they have concerns or questions. 4. Facilitate stakeholder workshops and meetings. Organize stakeholder engagement sessions where key players can express concerns, provide input, and align their expectations with project goals. 5. Monitor and maintain alignment throughout the project. Stakeholder alignment is not a one-time event. Regularly check in with stakeholders to reassess their priorities, address any shifts in expectations, and adjust project strategies as needed. Final thoughts. Stakeholder alignment is fundamental to project success. By ensuring that all parties have a shared understanding of goals, expectations, and priorities, project managers create an environment of collaboration, trust, and commitment. To summarize, stakeholder alignment reduces conflicts and misunderstandings. It increases stakeholder support and enhances engagement. Projects that align with organizational priorities gain stronger backing. Early and continuous engagement improves risk management and issue resolution. In the next section, we will explore advanced stakeholder engagement strategies, ensuring that teams can maintain effective relationships with stakeholders throughout the project lifecycle. Clear communication is the foundation of effective stakeholder management. When communication is well-structured and transparent, it builds trust, fosters collaboration, and reduces the risk of misunderstandings. A well-designed communication plan is essential for ensuring that all stakeholders remain informed, aligned, and engaged throughout the project lifecycle. In this section, we will discuss how to develop a robust communication plan, key components that contribute to effective stakeholder communication, and strategies for managing stakeholder expectations. The role of communication in stakeholder engagement. Effective communication ensures that stakeholders understand project objectives, timelines, and progress, are aware of potential risks, challenges, and mitigation strategies, feel engaged and valued, leading to stronger project support, have realistic expectations about project outcomes and constraints. Poor communication can lead to confusion, frustration, stakeholder disengagement, and even project failure. Therefore, proactive and structured communication planning is essential. Key components of a communication plan. A communication plan provides a structured approach to ensuring the right information is delivered to the right people at the right time. The plan should include 1. Audience, who needs to be informed. Different stakeholders have different interests and levels of involvement in the project. Identifying the target audience is the first step in crafting an effective communication strategy. Stakeholder categories. Executive leadership and sponsors need high-level updates on project progress, risks, and financial impact. Project team members require detailed, operational updates to align daily tasks with overall project goals. Clients and end users expect updates on deliverables, timelines, and usability. Regulatory bodies and external partners need compliance and progress reports to ensure adherence to industry standards. By defining the audience, project managers can tailor messages and communication channels to ensure that information is both relevant and actionable. 2. Message. What information needs to be shared? The content of project communication should be structured and aligned with stakeholder interests. Types of messages. Project status updates, progress reports, milestone achievements, and roadblocks. Risk and issue management. Identifying risks early and communicating mitigation strategies. Budget and resource allocation. Financial transparency ensures confidence in project funding. Change management updates. Any changes in scope, schedule, or objectives must be clearly communicated. Clarity is key. Messages should be concise, structured, and tailored to the recipient. 3. Channel. How will the information be communicated? Selecting the right communication method is crucial for ensuring that stakeholders receive and absorb information effectively. Common communication channels. Meetings and presentations, used for strategy discussions, milestone reviews, and key decision-making. Emails and reports, effective for documentation, status updates, and formal communication. Project dashboards and software. Platforms like Microsoft Teams, Slack, Trello, or Asana help provide real-time updates. Workshops and training sessions, beneficial for ensuring stakeholder understanding and engagement. Choosing the right channel ensures that communication is efficient, clear, and actionable. 4. Frequency. How often will updates be provided? Setting expectations on how often communication will occur ensures that stakeholders receive consistent updates without being overwhelmed with excessive information. Recommended communication frequencies. Daily or weekly reports for project teams handling operational tasks. Bi-weekly or monthly updates for senior management and external stakeholders. Milestone-based communication, major announcements at project completion stages. On-demand updates for urgent issues, risk escalations, or crisis management. Regular updates create a sense of transparency and predictability, improving stakeholder confidence. Managing stakeholder expectations. Beyond structured communication, expectation management is a critical element of stakeholder engagement. Unrealistic expectations can lead to dissatisfaction, project disputes, and loss of stakeholder confidence. Strategies for managing expectations effectively. Transparency in communication. Clearly articulate project goals, timelines, and constraints to avoid misinterpretations. Consistency in messaging. Ensure that all communication aligns with the project's actual progress and status. Active listening and stakeholder feedback. Regularly gather input and address concerns to maintain engagement. Early identification of risks and delays. Proactively informing stakeholders about challenges prevents last-minute conflicts. Setting realistic timelines and deliverables. Avoid overpromising and ensure that commitments are feasible. Customizing communication for different stakeholders. Tailor messaging based on each group's level of involvement. Common pitfalls in stakeholder communication. Avoiding common communication mistakes ensures smoother stakeholder engagement. Some of the most common pitfalls include inconsistent messaging. Stakeholders receiving different information from different sources leads to confusion. Information overload. Bombarding stakeholders with excessive updates reduces engagement. Lack of clarity in reports. Ambiguous updates create uncertainty about project status. Failure to address concerns proactively. Ignoring stakeholder concerns can lead to resistance and project risks. By recognizing and addressing these pitfalls, project managers can strengthen trust and collaboration with stakeholders. Final thoughts. Effective stakeholder communication is the backbone of successful project execution. A structured communication plan ensures that all stakeholders remain informed, engaged, and aligned with project objectives. To summarize, identify the right audience to tailor messages effectively. Craft clear and structured communication to enhance understanding. Choose appropriate channels to ensure efficient information flow. Establish consistent communication frequency for predictability. Manage expectations proactively through transparency and engagement. In the next section, we will explore advanced stakeholder engagement techniques to help teams navigate complex stakeholder relationships effectively. In any project, stakeholders come with different perspectives, objectives, and priorities. Some stakeholders may prioritize cost reduction, while others emphasize quality, speed, or innovation. As a project manager, it is your responsibility to balance these competing priorities effectively to maintain stakeholder engagement and project success. Successfully managing competing priorities requires understanding stakeholder expectations, setting clear priorities, and fostering collaboration. Without a strategic approach, conflicting interests can lead to delays, budget overruns, and even project failure. In this section, we will explore key strategies to manage competing stakeholder priorities, ensuring that all perspectives are considered while keeping the project on track. Underscore. The challenge of balancing competing priorities. Projects often have multiple stakeholders with different levels of influence and sometimes conflicting priorities. Some common conflicts include executives versus project teams. Executives may prioritize cost savings, while project teams focus on quality and innovation. Clients versus internal teams. Clients may demand additional features, while internal teams try to keep the scope realistic. Regulatory bodies versus business goals. Compliance requirements may conflict with the need for speed and efficiency. Understanding how to manage and align these priorities ensures that all stakeholders feel heard while maintaining focus on project goals. Strategies for managing stakeholder priorities. Effectively balancing priorities requires a structured approach. Here are some key strategies. 1. Stakeholder mapping, identifying influence, interest, and impact. Before managing competing priorities, it's essential to identify and categorize stakeholders based on their level of influence, interest, and impact on the project. How to conduct stakeholder mapping. List all stakeholders. Identify key individuals or groups affected by the project. Analyze their influence and interest. Determine how much power they have over decisions and how invested they are in the project outcome. Categorize stakeholders using the power interest grid. High influence, high interest, key stakeholders must be actively engaged and consulted. High influence, low interest, need periodic updates and involvement in key decisions. Low influence, high interest, require engagement and regular communication to maintain support. Low influence, low interest, can be informed with minimal effort. Example, in a construction project, the executive sponsor, high influence, high interest, must be closely engaged, while an external consultant, low influence, low interest, may only need periodic updates. 2. Prioritization, focusing on high-impact stakeholders. Once stakeholders are mapped, project managers must prioritize conflicting interests by focusing on those with the most significant impact on project success. Steps for effective prioritization. Align with project goals. Ensure that priorities support overall business and project objectives. Assess urgency versus importance. Some stakeholder needs may be urgent, but not critical to project success. Engage key stakeholders early. Address concerns proactively to prevent issues later. Balance short-term versus long-term goals. Avoid sacrificing long-term success for immediate gains. Example, in an IT project, developers may push for additional testing time, while executives demand a faster rollout. The project manager prioritizes a balance between speed and quality, ensuring that essential testing is completed before launch. 3. Negotiation, finding win-win solutions. Conflicting priorities require effective negotiation skills to find solutions that satisfy multiple stakeholders while maintaining project feasibility. Key negotiation techniques for project managers. Understand stakeholder motivations. Identify underlying needs, not just stated demands. Find common ground. Look for overlapping interests that benefit multiple parties. Use data-driven decision-making. Support arguments with facts, metrics, and projections. Set clear boundaries. Define what is negotiable and what is non-negotiable. Example, a healthcare project faces a conflict where doctors want more advanced features in a new patient management system, while IT managers focus on budget constraints. The project manager negotiates a phased implementation approach, adding essential features first while planning future upgrades within budget. 4. Building strong relationships to navigate conflicts. Stakeholders are more likely to collaborate and compromise when they trust the project manager. Strong relationships help in resolving conflicts smoothly and maintaining alignment. Ways to strengthen stakeholder relationships. Consistent and transparent communication. Keep stakeholders informed to prevent surprises. Active listening. Acknowledge concerns and demonstrate empathy. Regular check-ins. Maintain engagement beyond formal meetings. Deliver on commitments. Build credibility by following through on agreements. Example, in a large infrastructure project, government officials were hesitant due to environmental concerns. By building trust through open discussions and incorporating sustainable practices, the project team secured their approval and support. Common pitfalls in managing competing priorities. Even experienced project managers face challenges in balancing stakeholder needs. Avoiding these common pitfalls improves project outcomes. Ignoring certain stakeholders. Overlooking low-interest stakeholders can lead to unexpected resistance later. Overpromising to multiple stakeholders. Trying to satisfy everyone without clear prioritization can lead to unrealistic commitments. Lack of flexibility. Being too rigid in decision-making prevents adaptive solutions. Failure to document decisions. Verbal agreements without proper records can create confusion and misalignment. Final thoughts. Balancing competing stakeholder priorities is a key skill for successful project management. A structured approach, using stakeholder mapping, prioritization, negotiation, and relationship building, ensures that diverse perspectives are managed effectively while keeping the project on track. To summarize, stakeholder mapping helps identify influence and interests. Prioritization focuses on high-impact stakeholders and strategic objectives. Negotiation ensures that win-win solutions address diverse needs. Building strong relationships fosters collaboration and trust. In the next section, we will explore advanced conflict resolution strategies for handling more complex stakeholder disagreements while maintaining positive engagement. Now, let's put stakeholder mapping into practice. Even though this is a recorded session, you can still participate by reflecting on a real or hypothetical project and applying what we've discussed. Your activity. Step 1. Think of a project you're working on or have worked on in the past. Step 2. List the key stakeholders involved in that project. Step 3. Assess their level of influence and interest. Who has the most decision-making power? Who cares the most about the project outcome? Step 4. Position them on a stakeholder map. High influence, high interest. These are key decision-makers who require close engagement. High influence, low interest. Keep informed, but engage only when necessary. Low influence, high interest. Keep engaged and motivated, but they don't drive decisions. Low influence, low interest. Provide minimal updates, only when necessary. Reflect on how stakeholder dynamics influenced your project outcomes. Were some stakeholders harder to engage? Did their priorities shift over time? Drop your answers in the comments. Share a quick example of a stakeholder challenge you faced and how you handled it. Let's learn from each other. To conclude this section on stakeholder engagement and planning, let's reflect on the key takeaways that will help ensure strong stakeholder relationships and effective project execution. 1. Stakeholder alignment is critical for project success. Stakeholder alignment means ensuring that all individuals and groups involved in a project have a shared understanding of goals, expectations, and priorities. Misalignment can lead to confusion, resistance, and inefficiencies, ultimately delaying project completion and increasing costs. Key steps for stakeholder alignment. Identify key stakeholders early. Understand who is involved and their level of influence. Clearly define objectives. Ensure that all stakeholders are on the same page regarding project goals. Regular check-ins. Keep stakeholders informed throughout the project to maintain engagement and alignment. Address concerns proactively. Encourage open discussions to resolve conflicts before they escalate. Example: a software company developing a new customer relationship management (CRM) system aligned their project team, executives, and end users from the beginning. By collecting feedback early, they avoided costly rework and improved user satisfaction. 2. Effective communication plans build trust and manage expectations. Without clear communication, misunderstandings can arise, leading to delays, frustration, and disengagement. A well-structured communication plan ensures that the right information is delivered to the right people at the right time. Key components of a communication plan. Identify your audience. Who needs to receive updates? Executives, project teams, clients, vendors, etc. Determine key messages. What critical information needs to be shared? Project status, risks, timelines, etc. Choose the best communication channels. Will updates be sent via email, meetings, reports, or dashboards? Set a communication schedule. How often should stakeholders receive updates? Example: a construction company implemented a weekly stakeholder briefing to provide updates on progress, delays, and next steps. This improved transparency, reduced client concerns, and strengthened team collaboration. 3. Balancing competing priorities requires strategic thinking and negotiation skills. Stakeholders often have different priorities and interests. Balancing these competing needs requires strategic decision-making and negotiation skills to ensure that the project stays on track while meeting stakeholder expectations. Strategies for managing stakeholder priorities. Use stakeholder mapping. Categorize stakeholders based on their influence and interest. Prioritize key decision-makers. Focus on stakeholders with the most significant impact on project success. Negotiate compromises. Find win-win solutions where possible. Stay data-driven. Support discussions with metrics and project insights. Example: in an IT project, the finance department wanted to cut costs, while the operations team prioritized quality and security. The project manager negotiated a phased implementation plan, balancing budget constraints while maintaining system reliability. 4. Strong relationships enhance stakeholder support throughout the project lifecycle. Engaged and supportive stakeholders contribute to faster decision-making, smoother project execution, and reduced resistance to change. Building strong relationships requires trust, active listening, and collaboration. Ways to strengthen stakeholder relationships. Be transparent and honest. Keep stakeholders informed, even about challenges. Encourage two-way communication. Listen to stakeholder concerns and feedback. Demonstrate reliability. Follow through on commitments to build trust. Celebrate wins together. Acknowledge contributions and milestones. Example: a healthcare organization developing a new patient care system actively involved doctors and nurses in key decisions. By valuing their input, they gained strong buy-in, leading to a more successful implementation. Final thoughts. By implementing these best practices, project managers can create a stakeholder engagement strategy that drives project success. To summarize, stakeholder alignment ensures that all parties share a common vision. Effective communication plans improve transparency and trust. Strategic prioritization and negotiation help balance competing interests. Strong relationships enhance engagement and long-term collaboration. Next, we'll explore common pitfalls and best practices to help you avoid stakeholder-related challenges and refine your project planning approach.